Welcome to the Plant Trainers Podcast, where we're helping people improve their quality of life through nutrition and fitness. And now, your hosts, nutrition and wellness coaches, international speakers, Adam and Shoshana Chaim.
Hey, I'm Adam Chaim.
And I'm Shoshana Chaim, and we are
Propelled by Plants. Today we bring to you episode 478, Lessons from Our Very Own Centenarian, Irene.
If you remember back on episode 55, we interviewed my grandmother, and she was 93 at the time. Sadly, we lost her in living form last week. She made it to 101-ish, which was quite an accomplishment. She had a sharp mind. She was completely independent and even did her own groceries. She never wanted to be a burden to anyone. And the morning that she took her last breath, she even walked to the mall to go and buy her yogurt and get her blood pressure taken at the pharmacy. I'm just so lucky that I had her for that long.
So in this episode, we're going to share some lessons that we've learned from our grandmother Irene, our Bubbie Irene, and they're really powerful lessons that I think all of our listeners will really gain a lot from, and that's why we're sharing it. So enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, now it's more important than ever to stay close and connected to us as we're going to be making some changes here at Plant Trainers. So please head over to planttrainers.com and get our plant-based comfort foods recipe book for free. That's a $14.99 value just by signing up for our newsletter so that you can know what changes are, because we want to make sure that we stay in touch.
And now for a moment of gratitude.
I'm grateful for relationships and getting to know people, and I'm especially grateful for you and the kids, Adam, this past week and all your support. Emotionally, for me, I know it was hard for you too.
I'm grateful to have had your grandmother in my life and had the opportunity to feel like I had another grandmother over the last 25 plus years. So she was 101-ish. What exactly does that mean?
It means that she had 3 birthdays. She had whatever day she was born between Passover and Shavuot, 2 holidays in spring. And then she had the birthday of December 22nd, which was when my great-grandfather actually got to go to town to register her. And that's the birthday that Poland gave her. And then when she came over to Canada from Poland, they just threw out a new birthday for her, which was February 3rd. And chronologically, she was already 101, but according to us and the birthday that we celebrate on December 22nd, just a little bit shy there.
So Irene was born in Poland in 1922 and came to Canada by boat in 1935, lost her husband in 1975, has been on her own building an empire without any boyfriend or no husband since then. So today we're going to commemorate Irene by sharing 15 lessons that we learned from her that, although may not seem directly about health, can be and are definitely conducive to a better quality of life. And don't forget, we'll put in the show notes that we interviewed Irene in episode 55 of the Plant Trainers podcast. So, Shush, let's get going here with our list. So what was number 1?
Okay, so number 1, she would wake up in the morning and she would touch her toes 10 times. She had a variety of exercises that she did, and in her younger years, she would even, her younger years, what I'm talking about is like 85 still. So she would wake up in the morning and she would touch her toes 10 times. She did have a whole exercise routine that I think kind of dwindled down over the years went. But I remember, when I was a teenager going to visit her, or she was coming to my house, I remember her doing all of these exercises. So touching her toes is the one that I remember the most. And she would even walk around the golf course a couple of times a week too. How big is that golf course?
It's about 3.5 kilometers.
Yeah, so, she did that well into her 80s, maybe even in her early 90s as well.
Yeah, I remember she'd always show us how she would be able to touch her toes with both arms, and she would talk about how she does that every single day, and that was part of one of the things that kept her living long.
Yeah, I think it kept her body and her mind really strong, and it was a routine. It was something that she did every single day.
Yeah, the second thing was stay positive. Don't talk badly about others and never risk becoming a negative person.
If she ever needed to say something about somebody else, she made it in a way that was more constructive. Even if she wasn't saying it to them, if she was saying it to me, it wasn't about gossip. It wasn't about pulling on other people's negativity to make you feel good. It was coming from a place of concern and a place of wanting to help other people getting better. And she was very, very adamant in not letting negative thoughts into her head and not letting them out of her mouth, because then that would solidify things in her head too. So she wanted to stay a very positive person.
The third one is sometimes you just got to keep your mouth closed when it comes to keeping peace with your family in the home.
Yeah, and this kind of goes along with number 2, but it takes it even further. She was pretty good at biting her tongue and kind of letting things play out. But when it was important for her to speak up, she did. But if she knew that it wasn't going to make a difference, but it was going to hinder the relationship, she didn't.
Number 4 was read to stay sharp.
Yeah, so I think we all remember her sitting in her apartment and pulling out books, and a lot of them were not storybooks. She liked facts. She liked to understand more about the world.
The next one is always invest your money. You're never too young. In fact, in the 60s, she started an investment group for women to help with them investing.
Yeah, so I remember being 18 years old and going to the bank because my grandmother told me about RSPs or 401ks or whatever you call them in the States, 401k1s.
401ks.
401ks, there you go. And she told me, put money away now, money that you don't need because you'll have a lot more later, and go. And I played around and I chose the different markets and things like that. And the ladies at the bank did not take me seriously at all. And I actually didn't know that she had started that investing group, or maybe I'd known a long time ago, but a cousin brought it up to me this weekend. So it was really nice to see that, because I'm a strong, independent businesswoman and I want my kids to know that they can do everything too. It's really nice that she has that behind her, or had it. We're just going to take a little break here because I want to share with you that growth is something that happens for everyone and every business. And we've been going through a lot of personal and professional growth here at Plant Trainers, and we want to stay connected with you. That's why we're giving away our plant-based comfort food ebook that's worth $14.99 for free at our website at planttrainers.com, or by clicking the link in the show notes. Click on that, get on our newsletter, because we're going to be making some serious changes and you need to be aware of what's going on. We look forward to connecting with you there. And now back to the show. Number 6 is one of my favorites. Buy high-end clothes, but buy them on sale. Oh my God. She loved sale. She even had the women at the store call her when the items that she had been eyeing would go on sale. So she would buy top name brands, quality stuff that lasted a long time. It wasn't fast fashion. It was high-ish fashion, and it was great. It was really wonderful to see her like that. And she was always wearing heels. So when I wear heels, I think of her.
Number 7 was one of her specialties. Don't expect a call from her on your birthday, but you may expect one a few days later, and she'll always pretend she's on time.
Yeah. I always knew November 15th that I should not expect a call from my grandmother. Sometimes it came in on the 15th. Sometimes it came in on the 11th. Sometimes it didn't come at all. But she never acknowledged the belated part of it. She just kind of did her thing, and I let her do it.
This one, the next one, number 8, I think our kids probably like it.
So this next one kind of shows that, I don't know what you're going to learn from it, but she was really, really good at taking candies, Ziploc bags, chocolates, cookies from my parents' house, from my house. When she went on airplanes, she would take extras, or restaurants, if they gave a little cookie with her coffee and she didn't eat it, she would take it with her. And that way she didn't have to buy her own. And I mean, I guess you can look at it as get things from the source, like plants and fruits and things like that. Or, if you take that 1 or 2 little chocolates, you don't have to buy a big bag and end up eating the big bag. You learn from that what you want to, but that's just something that she did.
Number 9 was pumping on the car brakes or the gas is not a good way to drive. And when did she stop driving? Because she drove
93.
Yeah, it was unbelievable that she was still driving at that age.
Yeah.
But don't pump those brakes and gas.
Oh my gosh, she would pump the brakes and pump the gas. So I learned not to do it because I would get sick sitting in the car beside her. And once I got old enough, she would let me drive, which was, a good thing for sure.
Number 10, always use quality makeup. And once again, take advantage of promotions and sales.
Yeah, so she would wait for these sales and promotions to go on so that she would buy her, whatever it was, her mascara and her blush, and then she'd get her eyeshadows for free and all of that. But she really did use good quality makeup, and she took her makeup off every night. And if you see pictures of her, she doesn't even look, I think she barely looks 90, even years ago. So I don't even think that she looks 90. So definitely good quality is important.
Number 11, you learned how to peel an apple for apple cakes or pies with just one long ribbon, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so Rosh Hashanah, which is the new year for the Jewish people, which is right now, we would always make apple cake together, and she would be able to cut the peel off of the apple in one long ribbon. So I watched her year after year and practice all of those apples until I could finally do it myself. So I think it's a very nice talent that I have.
Number 12, work hard and make money.
Yeah, she was an independent, self-made woman. She lost my grandfather 48 years ago. She never remarried. She never had a boyfriend. So everything that she had, she made on her own. And I think it's really important that if women want to, that they should work hard and they should make money, and we should never apologize for that.
Number 13 to me is a little controversial, but ask for what you want, and if you're told no, secretly do it anyway.
That was kind of her way of doing that. And the way that I can relate that here on this podcast is so many of you went to your doctors and said, I want to be plant-based, or maybe I need to cut out meat. And they were like, oh no, you need meat for your protein, for this, for that. But you knew that it was the right thing, and you did it anyway, and you're here and you're thriving. And she kind of just did what she wanted. 14,
coffee table books are for reading and sharing stories. So pay attention to the kind of books you're putting on those tables.
Yeah, like I said before, she loved to read. And what she read mostly was articles that she had photocopied that she just read over and over again, and these coffee table books. But a lot of the coffee table books that she had were based on places in the world that she had been to, or they were based on Poland or the Holocaust. So she would read them and she would think about it a lot. So then when she would show us pages or stories in those books, it wasn't just reading for the content, it was reading for her interpretation and her experience in life.
And number 15, you can make friends anywhere, even sitting outside the water park.
Yeah, so I think that it's important to know that you're never too old to make friends. And even if you might feel alone in this world, in the plant-based world, because there's nobody else like that around you, if you kind of keep your eyes open, you never know when you're going to make friends. She wanted to send us over to the water park. So she walked over to the water park one day to see what's going on there. And she got a little bit tired and needed to take a rest before coming back. And she met the owner of the water park there, and they became amazing friends. And I still speak to her today. So yeah, at any age you can make friends. She just did that like 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
So we really wanted to take some time today to pay tribute to someone who made a big impact in our lives in so many ways. And we'd love for you to check out the show notes at planttrainers.com/478. And if you could share this list of 15 lessons that we learned from Irene, that would be super helpful and special to us. And we appreciate you listening to the show week after week. Happy to have you here with us. And we look forward to having you with us for a lot longer on this Plant Trainers podcast.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening.
Thank you all so much for listening to this edition of the Plant Trainers podcast. We want to make sure that you subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, or any other podcasting platform.
We really appreciate the feedback we receive from you. Every time we get a 5-star rating or review on iTunes from one of our fans, it really helps other people find us just like you did.
Thanks so much to our patrons. To become a patron, visit us at patreon.com/planttrainers. Even supporting us with $1 really makes a difference difference in the quality of the show.
And don't forget to connect with us on Instagram and Twitter. Our handle is @PlantTrainers. Like Plant Trainers on Facebook, join our newsletter, and check out our website at planttrainers.com for awesome recipes, a list of our services, and of course, our latest podcast.
We encourage you to email your questions to info@planttrainers.com so that we can help you improve your quality of life through nutrition and fitness.
So we hope we've inspired you today. Join us again next time
and have a healthy day.
Or is that too corny?
It's a little cheesy.